What if the smile wasn't kindness? What if it was the last thing you ever saw? He wasn't supposed to be there. Not in that alley. Not at 3:11 a.m. And definitely not smiling like that. The camera caught it. A man, standing dead center beneath the flickering street lamp. Pale, still, smiling. Too wide, too long. Like he knew something the rest of us didn't. The footage came from a downtown security cam in Portland, Oregon. Uploaded by a gas station clerk who just wanted to report a break-in. He didn't expect to find that, and what happened next still has no explanation. 3 people, all seen passing by that alley in the span of 2 hours. Each one looked at him. Each one walked a little faster, and none of them were ever seen again. I've watched that footage over 200 times. I can't forget his eyes. Not blinking, not once, just smiling. The police said the faces were too blurry to confirm, but those people existed. One was my sister. He just stood there. That's what she whispered in the voicemail she left. Her voice was shaking. You can hear her footsteps speeding up. A breath, a whisper. He's following me. And then, dead silence. They found her phone. Screen cracked, still recording, right outside that alley. But no blood, no struggle, just static and a faint, eerie hum, like someone humming a lullaby through their teeth. They started calling him the Smiling Man. Because what else do you name something you can't understand? Some say he's a predator. Others think it's a prank gone too far. But I know fear, and what I saw on that tape wasn't human. What kind of man doesn't blink, doesn't move, doesn't stop smiling, even when someone screams? What kind of man follows strangers into the dark and leaves nothing behind but silence? Maybe he's a ghost, maybe worse. The real question is, why was he waiting? And what is he smiling for? You think you've seen it all until you rewind the tape and see something that wasn't there before. We were sitting in my sister's apartment. 3 of us, me, her roommate Devin, and Officer Ramirez, the only cop who still cared. The CCTV file had been copied onto a USB. We played it again. Same timestamp, same street, same man, still smiling. But this time, there was something wrong. At exactly 3:13 a.m., you can hear a whisper. It wasn't there before, barely audible, but it was clear. Come closer. Devin froze. He turned to me like he'd heard it too. His voice shook. Did he say something? Ramirez paused the video, zoomed in, frame by frame. The man didn't move, didn't blink, but between 2 frames, his mouth widened. Not just a smile, a distortion, like his face was folding in on itself. Too wide, too wrong. That's not natural, Ramirez muttered. And that's when the power flickered. The laptop screen went black. The lights buzzed. And Devin, he screamed. He pointed at the window. There's someone outside. I ran to the glass. Nothing. Empty street. But the street lamp across the road? It was flickering, just like the one in the footage. And Devin, he was shaking, mumbling. His eyes. I saw his eyes. Ramirez stood up, tried to calm him down, but Devin just kept repeating it. It's him. It's the same smile. It's him. He locked himself in the bathroom, wouldn't come out for hours. And when he did, he wasn't the same. His hands were scratched, like he'd clawed at the mirror. And when I asked him what happened, he whispered something I'll never forget. There's a second tape. That night, I went back to the gas station. I needed to know if it was true. The clerk was gone. A different guy was working. Didn't know anything. Didn't want to. But in the back office, behind stacks of unpaid invoices, I found it. A label. Backup footage. 3 o'clock to 4 a.m. I took it. And when I watched it later that night, everything changed. Because at 3:19 a.m., a 4th person walked by that alley. She looked back, paused, then turned toward the camera, eyes wide, mouth trembling, and just before she disappeared off screen, she mouthed one word, "Run." And the moment she vanished, you hear that same hum again. Low, unearthly, like something alive, but not breathing. The timestamp glitches. The screen bends. And then, he's closer. Not just under the streetlight, but stepping forward. Like he knows we're watching. Like he's watching us back. They said the tape was corrupted. That maybe it was edited. Maybe it was a hoax. But here's the part they can't explain. When I paused the video at 3:23 a.m., right when the screen distorted, my room got cold. Not window open cold, but deep, hollow, coffin cold. And in the reflection of my laptop, I saw movement, a shape, in the corner of the room. Too tall, too thin, smiling. I turned, nothing there. But I swear I smelled something, like sulfur and rust. I don't sleep anymore. Not really. I keep hearing whispers at night. Soft, repetitive, calling me closer to the screen. Devin's missing now. Vanished 3 days ago. His door was locked from the inside. No sign of struggle. No forced entry. Just his phone. And the words written on the mirror. He smiles when you look away. So now I leave the lights on. Play the footage on loop. Try to memorize every second. Because I have to ask myself, what if he's not just in the alley? What if he's in the footage now? Leaking through the pixels. Crawling through every pause. Every stare. Every silence. And if that's true, then I have to ask you, are you sure you're watching this alone? They said it was stress. Sleep deprivation. That I was seeing patterns where there are none. But I wasn't the only one. And that's what scared me most. 2 days after Devin vanished, I got a message from a girl I hadn't spoken to in years. Lana Prescott. We used to intern at the same news station, back when the world still made sense. Her message, just one sentence. I saw him too. Called her. She didn't answer, so I drove across town, right to her apartment. And that's where I saw it. The smile. Not his smile. Hers. It was stretched across her face in a way that didn't belong. Frozen. Painful. Like her skin was trying to hold back a scream. She opened the door, but didn't say anything. Just stared. And for 1 second, I swear she wasn't looking at me. She was looking through me. Lana. My voice cracked. She blinked. Shook her head. And just like that, the smile dropped. Collapsed into a sob. Her hands trembled as she pulled me inside. Her apartment was cold. Windows locked. Curtains drawn. 3 bolts on the door. And yet, she had covered every mirror with a towel. Every single one. She sat down on the edge of the couch, holding her hands like she was afraid of them. Then she whispered, "It's not a man." My stomach dropped. She told me everything. How 2 nights ago, she'd woken up at exactly 3:13 a.m. to a buzzing noise. Not from her phone, from her TV, turned on by itself. No signal, just static. And standing there, in the center of the screen, was him. Not in some alley, not on the news. In her living room. Same face, same eyes, and that impossible grin. She screamed, threw a lamp at the screen. The glass shattered. But the static? It didn't stop. That's when she noticed something even worse. She was smiling too. Not laughing. Not happy. Just smiling. And she couldn't stop. Her face ached. Her cheeks locked. Her eyes burned with tears. But her mouth wouldn't move. She ran to the bathroom. Ripped the towel off the mirror. And what she saw, it wasn't her. Something else looked back. Same body. Same clothes. But the eyes were hollow. And the smile? It was wider than her skin could stretch. It whispered back at her, "You saw him. Now he sees you." She didn't remember how long she stayed in that room. Minutes? Hours? But by the time the sun rose, her mouth relaxed, her reflection returned, and she thought it was over, until the emails started. Unmarked. No subject line. No message. Just video clips. Each one darker than the last. Each one closer. Like whoever, whatever was filming them, was walking toward her apartment, step by step. In the final video, it was at her door. And then, nothing. Just black. I haven't slept since, she said, voice raw, broken. I asked if she told the police. She laughed, bitter, hollow. They said it was an internet prank. Deepfake, AI filters, told me to stay offline. Then she leaned closer, eyes wide, voice like cracked glass. But what if it's not online anymore? What if it's in us now? I stayed with her that night, slept in a chair. She curled up on the couch with every light on. 3 a.m. came, nothing. 3:10, still nothing. And then, 3:13, her TV turned on. No remote, no timer, no power surge, just static. Lana screamed, backed into the corner. And this time, I saw it too. Not the man. Not exactly. Something shifting in the static. A mouth, a shape, and then the screen whispered, "Smile for me." Lana clutched her face, mouth twitching, jaw stretching. She was fighting it, clawing at her cheeks. Blood ran down her chin. I grabbed her, held her. "Look at me, Lana. Look at me." And when she finally did, the smile broke. She collapsed in my arms, sobbing, shaking. The TV shut off, by itself, and we just sat there, afraid to move, afraid to breathe, afraid to ask the question echoing inside both of us. If this thing can smile through us, what else can it do? And what happens when we finally stop resisting? You think the worst part is the fear, the not knowing, the shadows behind you at night, but it's not. The worst part is when they finally find someone, and their face still looks happy, even when they're dead. It was 6:42 a.m. I got the call from Officer Ramirez. No greeting, no warning, just 6 words I'll never forget. "We found Devin. He's smiling." I couldn't speak. My throat locked up. The phone trembled in my hand. "Where?" I finally croaked. He sighed. "Behind the gas station. Same alley. No blood. No sign of trauma. But you need to come. You need to see this." When I got there, the place was crawling with officers. Flashing lights. Crime scene tape. Tense silence. But nobody was touching the body. They were all standing back, just staring. And when I stepped forward, I understood why. Devin was sitting upright, back against the brick wall, hands folded neatly in his lap, eyes open, mouth stretched in a frozen grin, like he died laughing, but nothing was funny. Ramirez pulled me aside. His voice was tight. There's no struggle, no wounds, no drugs in his system. It's like he just sat down and smiled himself to death. But that wasn't the strangest part. He handed me something, a note, folded twice, tucked into Devin's pocket. 6 words, all capital letters. "He smiles when you look away." My blood ran cold. "He wrote that before," I whispered. "On his mirror." Ramirez nodded. This time he carved it. They reviewed the security footage, again and again. But the timestamp, 3:13 a.m., showed nothing. The screen glitched, went dark, then skipped straight to 3:16. And when it returned, Devin was just there, already seated, already smiling. Not 1 second of him entering the frame, like he'd been dropped there from above. Or worse, like the tape was afraid to show what happened. Back at my place, I couldn't stop watching the footage. I slowed it frame by frame, pixel by pixel. And then, I found it. In the 3-second blackout, one single frame, buried deep. Not Devin. Him, the smiling man, bent forward, face pressed against the camera lens. Not watching the alley, watching me. His grin stretched unnaturally wide, like he'd seen something delicious, like he was enjoying it. I shut the laptop, threw it across the room, but it didn't help, because I couldn't unsee it. That face burned into my mind, the kind of smile that doesn't belong on something with a soul. I called Lana, told her everything. She was silent at first, then whispered, "I've seen him in my dreams." "That's not a dream, Lana." "No, I mean before. Years ago, when I was a kid. I thought it was sleep paralysis. couldn't move, but he was there, in the corner, just smiling, waiting. My heart dropped. This wasn't new. This thing has been around, lurking in the static, in the mirrors, in the dead spots between seconds. And maybe now, we were just the latest to see him. That night, I got another message. No subject, no sender, just a link. I clicked it. A video played, black screen, heavy breathing, and then Devin's face, smiling, but his eyes were pleading, like he was trying to scream without sound, begging to be pulled back from whatever place he was trapped in. Then the screen glitched, cut to static, and I heard it again. Smile for me. My heart stopped, because this time, it wasn't coming from the video. It was coming from behind me. I turned, slowly, afraid of what I might see, but there was nothing. No figure, no shadow, just my own reflection in the dark screen of the TV. And then, I smiled, but I didn't. My face was frozen, still, terrified, but in the reflection, my mouth curled upward, on its own. I screamed, smashed the screen, shards of glass everywhere, but even in the cracks, I swear I still saw it. The grin, that thing, inside me. Devin is dead, but he didn't go alone. Something left with him, or entered through him. And now, I don't know where it ends, because this isn't about CCTV footage anymore. It's not about viral videos or alleyways. It's about us, about the way we stare too long at screens, the way we let silence settle in, the way we forget to blink. And maybe that's all it ever needed. A crack, a gap, a flicker of fear. And now it's here. So I have to ask, are you still sure that smile in your mirror is your own? They say mirrors don't lie, but they never tell you what happens when they start talking back. It started with silence, the kind that doesn't feel empty, but watched. Lana hadn't left her apartment in 2 days. She kept the mirrors covered, the TV unplugged, no phones, no screens, just notebooks, pages filled with drawings of his face, always smiling, always getting closer. I went to check on her. She didn't answer the door at first, but I heard something inside. Not music, not crying, just whispering, soft, wet, like someone breathing too close to your ear. When she finally opened the door, her eyes were red, face pale, but her lips, still, tight, no smile. He wants to come through the glass now, she said. Who does? I asked. She blinked. Not him. Not anymore. Whatever was inside him. She walked me to the bathroom, paused at the door, hand trembling on the knob. Promise you won't scream. Then she opened it, and I froze, because there, taped to the mirror, was a photo, old, worn, grainy. It was me, but not recent. A school photo, taken when I was 10, smiling. Where did you get this? I whispered. It was already taped there, she said. I woke up and it was just there. I stepped closer, heart pounding, and that's when I noticed the reflection. In the mirror, it wasn't Lana behind me. It was him, standing in the hallway, close, too close. I spun around. Nothing. Back to the mirror. Gone. She reached for the edge of the towel, the last uncovered mirror in the apartment. I need to show you something, she said. She pulled it down, and there we were, side by side, except my reflection was smiling, and I wasn't. I stumbled back. My breath caught in my throat. My jaw wouldn't move, but my reflection did. Its grin widened, eyes locked to mine, teeth showing, too many teeth. Then it whispered, "You've already let me in." Lana screamed. The mirror cracked. We both ran from the bathroom, slammed the door shut. I pressed my back against it, shaking. "That wasn't me," I gasped. "I know," she whispered. "It's not me in mine either." She opened a notebook. Inside were pages and pages of notes, times, dates, drawings. The same time showed up over and over. 3:13 a.m. "I think it's when he's strongest," she said. "When something opens." "Opens?" I asked. Portals, mirrors, screens. Doesn't matter. It's never about what's seen. It's about what sees you. I asked how long this had been happening. She didn't answer at first. Then she opened the bottom drawer of her desk, pulled out a VHS tape, labeled 1999 Sleepover. This was the first time, she said. I was 9. We were playing Bloody Mary. Thought it was a game. She hit play. The footage was grainy, distorted. Lana as a child. 2 other girls. Candles. Giggles. They said her name 3 times. Faced the mirror. Then, the camera glitched. Jerked sideways. Audio cut out. One of the girls screamed. And in the mirror, just for a second, a smiling face. Not any of theirs. Not human. And it blinked. I felt sick. What happened to the others? I asked. She didn't look up. One disappeared that night. The other stopped talking. She was institutionalized 2 years later. Still there. And you? She turned toward me, eyes glassy. I forgot. Until now. She walked back to the bathroom door, pressed her palm against it. It's trying to finish what it started. I think it needs me to remember. We didn't sleep that night, just sat in the living room, back to back, watching every shadow stretch too far. 3 a.m., then 3:10. We held our breath. 3:13 hit. The lights flickered. The temperature dropped. And then the bathroom door creaked open. By itself. We stared at it. And then something moved. Not a figure. Not a shadow. A smile. Hovering in the dark. White. Glowing faintly like it was made of static. Then a voice. You look just like you used to. Lana collapsed. I ran to her. She was seizing. Eyes rolling back. Blood dripping from the corners of her mouth. Her reflection, still standing in the mirror behind me, smiling. It raised its hand, pressed it flat against the glass. My breath fogged. The mirror didn't. That wasn't a reflection anymore. It was waiting. I screamed Lana's name, and for just 1 second, she opened her eyes. He's inside the mirror, she whispered. But he's learning how to live outside. I dragged her out of the apartment, called Ramirez, begged him to help us. But when we got to the hospital, her vitals were fine, except for one thing. She couldn't move her mouth, not even a twitch. And when she looked at the mirror above the sink, her reflection smiled. They always say, if you see someone who looks exactly like you, run. Because if it's not a reflection, it might be a replacement. It had been 3 nights since Lana stopped speaking. She was awake, breathing, but silent, her face frozen, not smiling anymore, just blank, like something inside had paused. And I kept seeing myself in strange places, not in dreams, not in mirrors, in real life. Started small, someone across the street, same jacket, same hair, same way of walking. I waved. They didn't. They just stared, and then turned the corner. But when I ran after them, nobody was there. I thought maybe I was paranoid, sleep-deprived, broken, until the footage showed up. Officer Ramirez texted me at 2:40 a.m., said he found something new, didn't want to talk over the phone. I drove to the precinct. He met me in the basement, away from the others. He looked shaken, sweating, holding a USB drive. You need to see this, he said. We played the footage. It was from the gas station alley, again, except this time, the timestamp said tomorrow. Is this edited? I asked. Ramirez shook his head. It came in just now, auto-uploaded from the backup server. But look, he paused the frame, zoomed in, and there I was, standing beneath the street lamp, hands at my sides, looking up, smiling. That's not me, I said, but my voice cracked, because it was. Same eyes, same scar under my chin, same jacket I was wearing right now. I wasn't there, I said. But you will be, Ramirez whispered. We played the rest of the tape. At 3:13 a.m., the screen shook, glitched, and I turned toward the camera, stared directly into the lens. Then I mouthed something. Frame by frame, we tried to read it. One word. Soon, I left the precinct, shaking, didn't go home, drove aimlessly through the city, trying to outdrive my own skin, my own shadow. But then, at a red light, I looked to my left, and there I was, standing on the sidewalk. No expression, just watching me. Still, I blinked. Gone. The light turned green. I floored the gas, heart punching my ribs like it wanted out. I pulled over near the old train yard, somewhere I hadn't been in years, and I remembered something. I was 6 the first time I ever saw that smile. Not on a screen, not in a mirror, in a window. It was a summer night. Late, I was playing hide and seek with my cousins. I hid behind my grandmother's curtain and saw it. A man in the yard, smiling, too still, too clean, like he didn't belong in that decade. He raised a finger to his lips, "H," and disappeared. I told everyone. No one believed me. I thought it was a dream, but now, feels like he's been following me ever since. Waiting, learning. Back at Lana's apartment, she was gone. The hospital said she discharged herself. No explanation, just walked out the front door, smiling. I checked the security footage. My stomach dropped, because it wasn't her. It was her reflection, walking backward through the exit, like the real her was still behind the glass, trapped. And at 3:13 a.m., the screen froze, burned, then restarted. That night I woke up to knocking. 3 slow knocks, not on the door, on the window, 3rd floor. I crept over, parted the curtain, heart beating so loud I couldn't hear anything else. And there, standing just outside the glass, was me, grinning, tilting my head, waving backwards, like a recording in reverse. I staggered back, tripped, hit the floor, looked up, gone. The next morning, there was a message on my phone. Audio file, no contact. I hit play, my own voice, but distorted, drawn out, speaking slowly like a tape melting in heat. "Why are you fighting it?" Then another voice underneath, soft, childlike. "You were always meant to smile." I dropped the phone, smashed it, didn't care, because I knew what came next. Replacement. I locked every door, covered every reflective surface. I didn't sleep, didn't blink, because I could feel it now. Every second I looked away, it got closer. Every time I doubted what I saw, it smiled wider. And the worst part? I was starting to forget which one of us was real. I looked in the mirror, my face, but not my eyes. They weren't tired. They weren't afraid. They were smiling. And they whispered, "You're already standing in the street." You ever feel like something's wearing your skin? Not possessing you, just borrowing you, just long enough to ruin everything you are. Then smile about it. I haven't looked in a mirror in 4 days. Haven't turned on a screen. Haven't spoken to anyone. Because now, I don't trust my own voice. I hear it whisper to me, from dark corners, from cracks in the wall, from behind closed laptop lids. Always the same thing. "You smiled first." I tried calling Ramirez. No answer. I drove to the station. They said he hadn't shown up for 2 days. That he left behind his badge, his phone, and a single note. "It's not him anymore." I went back to the alley, the one where Devin died, where Lana vanished, where I was supposed to appear tomorrow on that cursed tape. It was 2:50 a.m., windless, still, too quiet for a city. I stood in the exact spot, under the flickering light, and I waited. 3 a.m., my breath frosted, my vision blurred. 3:10, the light buzzed louder. My heart beat against my ribs like it was trying to escape. And then, 3:13, the sound of static, but no screen, just air. A hum, low, mechanical, alive. And then, I saw him. No camera, no reflection, just him. In front of me, not a hallucination, not a memory. Flesh, skin, smile. His face, twisted in that wide, impossible grin. Not human anymore. Parody, like someone trying to be human. And failing. No blinking, no breathing, just smiling. I wanted to run, but I couldn't move, because my feet, they weren't mine anymore, and neither were my hands. And I felt it, something pulling, not from the outside, from inside, like my soul was being peeled back. My skin stayed, my body stayed, but I was leaving, being pushed to the edge of myself, replaced. He stepped forward, one slow step, then another, until our faces were inches apart. I could feel nothing, smell nothing, but my body smiled. Not me, not the part that was still screaming inside, the shell. Why? I whispered, voice barely mine. He didn't speak, but his eyes, they showed me, flash, memories that weren't mine. Hundreds, thousands, smiling faces, across decades, across centuries. A wedding in 1893, groom smiles, then vanishes. A boy at summer camp in 1951, last seen grinning at the lake. A woman in 2004, smiling into a static TV before walking into the woods. All replaced, all erased, because this thing doesn't kill. It copies, and what it leaves behind, smiles. It doesn't need mirrors anymore, or screens. It's learned. It knows how to move without being seen, how to smile through you, and worst of all, it waits until you forget, until you blink, and then you're watching yourself smile from the other side. But I wasn't ready to be erased. Not yet. I bit my tongue, hard. Blood filled my mouth. Pain surged, and for 1 second, the smile cracked. He stepped back, flickered, like static in human form, and I knew he wasn't finished, but neither was I. I ran, didn't look back, didn't stop until sunrise, and when I collapsed in my apartment, I knew what I had to do. This recording, this story, this warning is not just a video, it's a mirror, because if you're watching this, if you followed every second, then he's already seen you, already mapped your voice, measured your fear, learned your face, and when the static starts, when you see yourself standing where you shouldn't be, don't smile, because if you do, he knows you're ready, and then it's over, and then your screen darkens. But just for a moment, if you look closely, you can see him, smiling, right behind you. If you want more chilling true crime stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to the Veil of Secrets.